The Gayatri Mantra is Om Bhur Bhuva Swa Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yana Prachodayat. This is the Gayatri Mantra. So, the Gayatri Mantra starts with Om, Om, then Bhur Bhuva Swa. Om, we can have 4 satsangs on Om, so we won't elaborate here, okay?
Just a Savitur.
Yeah. So now we come to Savitar. We can't do only one word from a mantra. It will be out of context. So, Bhur Bhuva Swa. Now, the very fact that the Gayatri Mantra starts with Bhur Bhuva Swa. Bhu meaning this world. Bhuloka. Bhuva is the next world, subtle world. And Swa is the next world, Swarga, which normally is referred to as heaven, but moksha or freedom is beyond Swarga. But when you say Swarga, Loka, world of, which is the short form is Swa, it means a world where people who have done good deeds enjoy for some time, take rest, and then come back again. Since it already starts with referring to the 3 realms, the Gayatri Mantra would probably be also referring to what that is beyond in interstellar space. So, the next after Bhurvua Swa, Tat Savitur Varenyam. Now, Tat means that. If English that and Sanskrit Tat are same. Now, why instead of saying Savitri Varenyam, so I worship or I prostrate or I pray to, or I worship is better, Varenyam. I worship. The Savitar means if it was only the sun, then you could say Savitar Varenyam. Why that Savitar? Tat Savitar Varenyam. Which means to point out that here we are referring not only to the sun as a physical light, but as the reigning deity of the sun. And according to the ancient teachings, the first manifestation of life on earth is through the sun. So, the sun worshipped as a god, as a deity, is the first physical manifestation of light of the Supreme Being. So, in this world, since the sun gives us nutrition, the sun gives us sunshine, the sun gives us for the plants to create food, photosynthesis. Without the sun, nothing will work. None of these things will work. So, the sun is our first god to worship because it's what gives us light and it shines on all good or bad with the same intensity. Doesn't discriminate. Oh, this guy is not good, so shine less. Oh, this fellow is bad, so shine, scorch him. Equal. I mean, depending on a geographical location, that is different, but it is not prejudicial to anybody. So, sun is therefore been worshipped from ancient times as the first representation deity of the Supreme Being. So, when you say Savitar, it means the sun, it also means the deity behind the sun, it also means the Supreme Being manifested as the sun. All these things are covered in it. If you go back into history, you will find that the most ancient temples in India were to the sun and the moon, not to the deities. The temples of Vishnu, Shiva, they all came much later. Shiva only had a linga first, a symbol, nothing else. And the only temples they had, the most ancient temples, were the temples to Surya, which is the sun, and Soma, which is the moon. Right? So from ancient times, the sun and the moon have been worshipped in India as representations of the highest divine. So therefore in the Gayatri you invoke the presence of the sun and the moon and the spirit of the sun and the moon also included, and therefore the Supreme Reality who manifests as the sun and the moon. So Savitar Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo means that which is lit. Devasya is that Deva, the God, that illumining power, Dhimahi, I meditate upon. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. And why do I do that? So that my intelligence may become perfect and stimulated enough to understand that Supreme Being. This is the prayer of the Gayatri. So every day it's good to chant the Gayatri. But in the Indian system of thought, in the olden days, women were neither supposed to read the Vedas nor chant the Gayatri. Only the men. So now many women are also chanting the Gayatri, but still some of the orthodox swamis in India do not like it. So that is the old system. But I think it was a misunderstanding of the reality. I think at ancient times women also chanted the Gayatri. But after some time, the men took over and made second place to women. And so at some point the importance fell and it became, but I think originally everybody chanted the Gayatri. There's a Swami who appears on YouTube regularly who says women should not read the Vedas. So I asked him, what should they read? He said, there are other things too. I said, cookbooks. And then he got angry with me. Anyway, so this is the Gayatri. Please, everybody can chant the Gayatri. It's a prayer to the Sun God, to the Supreme Being, to enlighten your intelligence so that you can understand better. This is the prayer. And the actual prayer, Om Bhur Bhuvasva Tat Savitar Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. This is the mantra. 100 years ago, the orthodox people would have put me in jail for publicly talking about the Gayatri. Because it was always kept secret, so that only some people know. And those who know have power and others don't. So, power game.